Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is the previously mentioned electrical and electronics engineer, Kai Salsif, and today is after a very long time that I've been able to make videos consecutively on multiple days. So this is something great about today is that yesterday I posted a video and today I'm posting another video, and what's even better is I get to share something that I built that I want other people to be a part of, especially other engineers and enthusiasts of aerospace engineering to be a part of. So as you've mentioned a pattern in my videos that I usually connect every announcement to a specific anecdote in the past. So this video is not going to be any different either. I'm going to mention a small anecdote which is going to help establish context as to why I'm making this video, what I'm talking about, and where I'm going with this. So without further ado, let's get down to it. So the time that I'm talking about is 2018, around, actually we're going to go further back. We're talking about 2015. It's 2015. I have just finished my advanced level examinations and I'm thinking about attending a university, and I'm good at physics, but I did not do as well as I would have liked to do. I got a C in my advanced level physics, but I had a perfect math score, like 200 of 200 in C12, and an overall A in math, and I used the exact same logic to do solve physics problems. There is usually a precedent of being able to challenge the examining body regarding your marks, but throughout my entire life I have rarely ever taken that path, because the internal philosophy is that if what I'm thinking is correct and if I don't plan on changing my thoughts, then I'm going to apply it in reality and I'm going to get the fruits of it in reality. I don't need to go and argue with somebody else. It doesn't matter what the examining body is doing. It makes absolutely no sense. Like to waste my time and money both in going and talking to some dumbass who made a mistake. So like, what's the point, right? So I did not do that. I ended up moving forward. I ended up applying to Dhaka University. I ended up applying to multiple universities in North America, but then I chose to stay back. I chose to attend Brack University, and that was problematic in a lot of ways, but that was also fruitful in a lot of ways. In the sense that it was problematic because I had to endure a lot of subpar humans like Rehan Ahmed. Like, that individual should be locked up in chains with farm animals or something like that. And I stand by it. If you take me to international human rights councils, or like, let's say, the national board of education or whatever that governs the universities of our country. For instance, I think there's something called universities social, what is it called? It's called the accreditation bodies of universities in this part of the world. Anyway, I'm going to tell him that this person is a subhuman primate. Anyway, so I had to encounter a bunch of subhuman primates, like I regularly do. But like, on the positive sides, I got a platform to think about things that I've always wanted to think about, such as building a satellite, because one of the aerospace engineering is a broad field. It spans everything starting from, let's say, designing a simple plane or helicopter all the way up to space shuttles, rockets, ballistic missiles, all of it. It's not a tiny niche. It's a tiny niche in terms of all of epistemology, but its applications are varied and numerous. So that being said, now moving forward to 2018, I got the opportunity to participate in a satellite mission idea contest. So the satellite mission idea contest showed two paths. One path was designing a canister, and the other path was designing a CubeSat. A canister is basically a parachute deployable can that you can launch from a large height and it will safely land. So that ends up incorporating aerospace topics such as understanding how gravity works, understanding how drift works, understanding how drag works, understanding how surface area of an object impacts the air resistance on it. It's a lot of things. It involves an initial exposure to high velocity landings and a whole bunch of other things. The other option was the CubeSat, and I ended up choosing the CubeSat. And back then it was 2018, and it had only been like a couple of years since this part of the world, the Bangladesh Bangabandhu satellite got launched, and so did the Onnesha satellite get launched from Brighton University, the Nano CubeSat, right? And it wasn't just that contest. Throughout the entire time, it was part of I noticed it was part of a larger collective movement where a bunch of people were, our body was helping a bunch of developing countries launch their first CubeSat. And like it was called the BIRDS International Conference, the fourth BIRDS International Conference, and I got the opportunity to cover it as the editor of a newsletter for the IEEE student body at Brighton University. And that was an incredible opportunity for me. But one of the problems I faced was I ended up submitting a mission as well in that contest, and like I was told that whether it gets selected or not, I will be provided with a feedback, but I wasn't. I never got a feedback, and the people involved in it told me later on that they will if I go back to them. But then, like, I am changing my decisions based on the payoff. Just like they chose that it wasn't in their best interest to call me immediately and provide me with feedback. I also think that it's no longer in my best interest to go to them for a feedback, because I noticed that I have far more to gain in believing in myself and placing bets on myself than going to absolutely any other primate on the planet. It took me a long time to understand that, but like I knew that growing up, but then I forgot that for a while. But like I'm back there anyway, which is the result of why I have so many things to announce recently. I have so much to share, why I'm making so many videos. This particular video is about OrbitMesh. OrbitMesh is an operating system project. Like if you had asked a 10-year or like 15-year-old me that I would design my own operating system, he would probably not believe you, because when I was introduced to the computing technology, it was fascinating. It was amazing. It was one of the most advanced things around me that I had ever noticed. And like part of the reason why I was so religious was because I thought that God exists, that maybe God creates these incredible things. But like as I'm growing older and as I'm applying myself more, I'm realizing that's a tier of human ability. And like yeah, anyway, we're not going to go down that path. What I'm saying is I would have laughed, I would not have believed you if you had told a 15-year-old me that I would be designing my own operating system, let alone an operating system for satellites. So yes, OrbitMesh is my first ever satellite that I have, my first ever satellite operating system that I have solo built the kernel of. But apart from just building the kernel, it is probably the first of the few available open source CubeSat operating systems available, which means you can inspect absolutely every line of code that went behind building OrbitMesh. It's available on GitHub. The links, as I have previously mentioned for my other projects, will also be available for this project. I will attach the links to both the GitHub as well as the Zenodo paper that comes with it. So that's it for OrbitMesh. But let me get into why, a bit deeper into why I built OrbitMesh. So back when I was participating in the Fort Bird's conference, satellite mission idea contest, a part of me felt like a fraud. Because first of all, I was attending a university and I was like teaching students, and at the same time I was living a life that I had previously not envisioned myself. Because let's be on. I'm going to be honest. A lot of people have ambitions. A lot of people have goals in lives. I did not. I particularly did not see myself becoming something when I grew up. To me, it was just passing that test, passing that exam, get doing better than last year. That has always been my motto, and the motivations have been mostly external growing up. Like I did well in school first of all initially, uh, to have a lighter mood at home. Secondly, it was either like a toy car or a video game. Something else motivated me. It was never actually intrinsic motivation. I finally experienced intrinsic motivation after I finished going to school, like, going to an institution, and like when I came across problems in reality that I needed to study for. Like for instance, understanding how things work, understanding how a math works, and like those kinds of things, and like figuring out how the internet works, and figuring out how like these machines that we buy from other people, how they're manufactured, like all of that. Because growing up, the science behind all of it was spoon fed to me because of the school I attended and the syllabus that I was given, like how semiconductors work, how crystalline structures form. These things were school physics, chemistry, and mathematics. But like, um, my intrinsic motivations have always been concentrated in application of knowledge rather than just acquiring knowledge for the sake of acquiring knowledge, which is why I did so terrible in school. But then, when I was provided with the opportunity to write a thesis, I ended up getting an A. And like I wasn't even planning on getting an A. I told my friend that let's build a garments automation AI software, or like a garments automation robot, right? Let's build something like that. And like we explored that path for a while, but then we all of us we came to a negotiated end that we're going to go down the path of agricultural machine learning, and then we wrote a thesis, and it got turns out it's valuable because otherwise people don't cite it. Somebody else needed something, and they found our thesis to be the source, and that was unbelievable because like I actually failed a lot of courses in BREC. Like they straight up failed me either because I did not have enough attendance, or because I wrote something that they did not agree with, and it was a whole bunch of things. Then I also got straight A's in some courses as well. By the time that I finished that degree. But anyway, like most of my intrinsic motivations come from when I'm trying to solve personal problems, trying to solve something in reality other than like when a syllabus is shoved down my throat. And one of the problems, one of the like ভাত পায় না চা খায় হুন্ডা দিয়ে হুসতে যায়. So like an acquaintance of mine used this sentence like when I was maneuvering around this part of the world without actually understanding where I come from, without actually understanding anything. And this person, by the way, has super low IQ, like so low I can't even like anyway. But like I am quite sensitive, and like I took that slightly personally, and like I grew up being verbally abused by my mother as well a lot. So like when I was attending that competition, there was a part of me that there was a voice inside my head that was saying, who the fuck do you think you are? Why are you trying to design something like that? It has zero practical applications. You are barely making ends meet. You teach 5 students and like stuff like that. What's wrong with you? But then there was this other voice inside my head that was also going on like, this is the first time I've gotten an opportunity to design something that is beyond your like previously achieved stature, and like this is going to push your boundaries of thought, and like it lies in the intersection of what you truly enjoy and like science fiction, because growing up satellites were national projects. Satellites are not something Kaisar Asif builds, but Kaisar Asif wrote down a satellite project, a satellite mission idea contest, along with Faisal bin Iqbal, another acquaintance of mine from BREC University, and we submitted it. We hit submit, but we didn't get any feedback. But anyway, fast forward to 2026, I realized that voice that was telling me who do I think I am when trying to design satellite mission idea contests, right? A whole bunch of other people probably feel the same thing when they're trying to design something. But like, the truth is that you aren't an innovator or an inventor until you invent, and you cannot invent until you attempt to invent. See what I'm talking about? You aren't an inventor or you aren't an innovator until you have invented or innovated something. But then you cannot invent or innovate something without trying to invent or innovate anything. The higher the barrier, the lower the number of people who truly get to take a shot at being an inventor or an innovator. The lower the barrier, the more people. In this case, the barrier is high, but then, I was privileged enough to attend a university and be around people who were thinking like that. And I took that opportunity, and when I started developing the habit of designing softwares, I thought to myself, wait a minute. Satellite hardware is expensive, but software is just code. And code is just math. So if I can do one thing to reduce the barrier of entry for a large number of people who probably also feel the same way when trying to do something they've never done before, so trying to do something that society thinks is only for a tiny class of people or a tiny group of people, then I will have truly changed something. That thought was also who do you think you are? But I had to do it. I had to go ahead and try and do it. I had to push forward. So I did. And OrbitMesh is also OSSF best practices certified in the cybersecurity realm, which means you can safely download it. I will attach the link and you'll be able to click it and you'll know that open source software standards are met. So that's one thing to be incredibly happy about and incredibly feel good about. The second thing is that it's CI passing, which means the compiler works, the kernel works. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know whether a satellite will ever use it. I don't know whether it will fly. But the code passes. And it's out there. It's out there. It's out there for absolutely anybody who has a satellite project to take up, use, cite me, and let me know what you think. Let me know whether it works or not. And let me know how we can develop moving forward, because I will move forward. I will develop this further. Someone will use it. I'm hoping. So yeah, that's it for today. OrbitMesh is out there. I hope you download. I hope you cite me. And that's it for today. Catch you later.